Hello children, let's start with the chapter 18, No Place for Us. This is the story of Jaitrya. 2 years back, Jaitra's family came to Mumbai from Sinduri village. His family consists of his wife, daughter Jhimli and son Sidhya. Mumbai is totally a new place for him. Here, they only knew the family of some distant relatives. In this new Sinduri village, they had to pay money for everything: medicines, food, vegetables, firewood, and fodder of the animals, house rent, etc. They even had to buy water. Jatryabhai, along with Sidhya, had to work hard to run his family. Jatya felt alone, even in a crowd of people. Here, everything was so different. In this big city, Jatryabhai have no earnings. So to run their livelihood, Jatryabhai and his son Sidhya both have to do some kind of work. As Jaitrya was not educated, so he can only do the things which he had learned in his village. That is, to repair torn fishing net. But the money he got was not enough. So young Sidhya also had to work in the nearby fish factory. Then he would help people to carry their bags around the vegetable market, or picking up empty bottles and newspaper to sell to the junk seller or kabadi wala. So somehow they were managing their life in the city. Jaitrya was born in Khedi village in the middle of thick green jungles and hills. The people of his group living here for many years, even before his grandfather was born. There was peace in Jaitra's village, but not silence. There were so many soothing sounds: the gurgle of the flowing river, the murmur of trees, and the chirping of the birds. Now, what is a peace? Freedom from any disturbance is known as peace, and silence refers to the complete absence of sound. For example, if you visit any park or garden and sit quietly, just close your eyes. You can hear different types of sound. You will feel a peaceful environment near you and you become calm, relaxed. All the sounds related with nature refresh you, and this is exactly what happened in Jaitra's village. So there was peace but not silence. Jaitrya learned so many things in Khedi. In Khedi village, people did farming. People collected things from the forest for their use. They would collect roots and plants for medicines and fish from the river to sell them in the town. With that money, they would buy salt, oil, rice, and some clothes. While working with elders, children also learned many things: to dance together, to play flute and dhol, to make pots of clay and bamboo, to recognize birds and imitate their sounds, etc. People here live together like a big family. They helped each other in good and bad times. The elders would arrange weddings and settle quarrels. Why do families like that of Jaitra's are coming to big cities? Obviously, many people came to big cities to earn money or to grab better job opportunities. But people like Jaitra are forcibly removed from their village. Now let's see what happened with Jaitrya. One day, the people of Khedi heard that a big dam was to be built on the river. For this, a big wall would be built to stop the flow of the river. After a few days, government officials along with the police started visiting these villages. They called meetings with elders of the village. They said villages on the bank of the river would have to be removed People having land at Khedi will be given land at the other side of the river. They will have everything there: a school, electricity, hospitals, buses, trains, etc. The people would have to leave their village and their lands on which their forefathers had lived for centuries. They were not happy about leaving their village, but Jaitra was excited about the new place where they will get all the facilities. Children, as you all know, that in villages people do not have much facilities, and that's why Jaitra was excited to get a place with all the facilities. What is a dam? A dam is defined as a barrier or a structure across a stream, river, or waterway to confine and then control the flow of water. These structures are built to retain water by forming a reservoir behind the structure. These are usually built across or near naturally flowing water to manage the water for human use. So, Jaitra's family has been removed from their village, or we can say displaced from their ancestral land. So, what is a displacement? Displacement and resettlement occurs when people are forced to leave their homes and land as a result of development. This subset of forced migration has been historically associated with the construction of dams for hydroelectric power and irrigation, but is also the result of various development projects such as mining, agriculture, the creation of military installations, that means for the military operations or trainings, airports, industrial plants, weapon testing grounds, railways and road developments, urbanization, conservation projects, and forestry. Displacement is a social problem affecting multiple levels of human organization, from tribal and village communities to well-developed urban areas. Development is widely viewed as an inevitable step towards modernization and economic growth in developing countries. However, for those who are displaced, the result is mostly loss of livelihood and impoverishment. It has been estimated that 15 million people each year are forced to leave their homes as a result of public and private development projects, and that number continues to increase as countries move from developing to developed nations. So Jaitra would think that after getting married, he would take his new bride to the new house in the new village. A house where he could just press a button for the light, turn on the tap for water, availing bus facility to go across the city. When he would have children, he could send them to school. So Jaitra was very excited about all the facilities which he will be getting. But what had happened with him? So now Jaitra's family came to Sinduri from Khedi village. In Sinduri, there were only 8-10 families he could call his own, those from his old village. The whole village had got scattered and people had gone wherever they had been given land. In this village, Jaitra got just one room in a tin shed. It had no place to keep the animals. He also got a small piece of land, but that was not good for farming. It was full of rocks and stones. They could not grow much on the field and could not make enough money even to buy seeds and fertilizers. The effects of displacement. Landlessness, that means no land of their own. Joblessness, no jobs. Homelessness, marginalization, that means a powerless position, society, or a group. food insecurity, whether they will get the food or not, increased morbidity and mortality, that means sickness and the death rate, increased in sickness and the death rate. To the common property, social disarticulation, that means breakup or the separation from their family or the family members. They experience psychological stress, feeling of helplessness, and distrust towards their government and humanitarian groups. While the state is charged with protecting them as equal citizens, they are considered others and left to bear the cost for those who will benefit. That means these people who are displaced have to face so many problems, and nobody bothers, even the government, about them. So, was Sinduri like the village of Jaitra's dream? No, this was not like the new village Jaitra had dreamed about. There was electricity, but only for some time in a day, and the electricity bill also had to be paid. There were taps, water. There was a hospital, but it was difficult to find doctors and there were no medicines. There was a school here, but the teachers did not care much about the children from Khedi village. The people of Sinduri did not welcome the newcomers from Khedi. They found their language and way of living strange. They made fun of the Khedi people by calling them unwanted guests. So the new village was not like the village of Jaitra's dream. Jaitra stayed for a few years in Sinduri. The children were also getting older now, but Jaitra's heart was not here in Sinduri. He still missed his old Khedi, but there was no Khedi now. Jaitra sold his land and animals and came to Mumbai. Here he started a new life with his family. His only dream was to send his children to school, to give them a better future, a better life. Jaitra was scared and worried. He thought, we left Khedi for Sinduri. We then left Sinduri for Mumbai. If we have to move from here too, then where we go? In this big city, is there not even a small place for my family to stay? In Mumbai, things were not easy, but he hoped that things would get better. Like Jaitra's family, thousands of families come to stay in big cities for many different reasons. Do you think their life may be better in a big city from what it was before? No, they have to face so many problems in big cities. They are not provided with proper houses in the big cities. They are just given small huts with no facilities. They have the provision of electricity and water for only limited period in a day. Also, they must pay the bill, which they cannot afford. They are not well qualified. Therefore, it is very difficult to get the good jobs. Even their children must work to make ends meet. There are schools, but the children found it difficult to understand the new language. Moreover, the fees is also not affordable. The people have to live in a miserable condition, facing all the difficulties and living insecure life. Children, you must remember about Dhanu's story. Dhanu's family also have to stay away from their village for 6 months, and Jaitra's family also forcibly removed from his village. So is their movements are same? What do you think? Is the term migration and transfer similar to displacement? Displacement comes from a result of development. This can come due to many different types of development and can affect almost anyone if plans are approved to develop or redevelop a certain area of land otherwise inhabited or used by individuals. Usually, these developments are motivated by economic development. These developments can come as a result of infrastructure development for transportation, housing, urbanization, production of natural resources, and conservation efforts. So, the movement of families like Jaitra are known as displacement. That is, when they are removed from their own land or village because of some development purpose and never get a chance to come back or settle again on their own land. Migration is the movement of people across a specified boundary for the purpose of establishing a new or semi-permanent residence. It is the movement of person from one country or locality to another. So we can say the movement of Dhanu's family from their village is known as migration. It is a type of a migration because they have moved only for the 6 months and then they came back before the rainy season. Because after the harvesting season, they have no work of farming. So then they have to look for other options to earn money. So this is totally different from displacement. So transfer is to move oneself from one location or job to another. To withdraw from one educational institution or course of study and enroll in another. To change from one public conveyance to another. Like for example, if a person is a company and then he get promotion and transferred to a new place. So he have to move. But he will be getting all the facilities provided by his company. So in such cases, people are generally not facing any type of difficulties related with basic needs. So I hope now you can make out the difference between displacement, migration and transfer. So these are totally different terms. Let's summing up the chapter. Jaitra was born in Khedi village in the middle of the jungle and hills. He learned many skills while working with the elders of the village. The people of the village lived together as a family, helping each other at the time of need. One day, government officials visited the village and said that a big dam was to be built on the river, due to which Khedi and many nearby villages would be drowned underwater. They asked the villagers to shift to a new place given to them on the other side of the river. Finally, they moved to a new place, Sinduri village, dreaming for a better life. In Sinduri village, Jaitrya was not able to make enough money to feed his family. After living a few years there, he decided to sell his land and animals and move to Mumbai. His only dream was to send his children to school to give them a better life. But here also, life was not easy. They are welcomed as unwanted guests in a new place. Thank you, children, for learning.